ready for round 2 of the Swiss rounds. This time we are going to be watching Matty versus JDoubleR, and they have some really interesting decks going on here. So Matty is playing mono black control, and JDoubleR is playing a 4-color aggro deck. Both of these deck lists are insane, and I'm really excited to see just exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see those deck lists playing against each other. Probably both of them trained their deck against the standard meta, so they will be surprised what they face here, both of them. Looking forward to the deck. Mono black control, I think it's some Ugin type of deck where you just put in the Mace Mind Tomes, the Solemn Electrum, and Ugin, and 4-color aggro. I mean, that's a lot of
It's actually the party mechanic that he's doing, which you don't see very often. So I'm just excited to see something really different, and I know that JDoubleR is really good at playing these like off-kilter decks, and it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, they're both kind of famous for brewing their own decks and reaching top 10 or even number 1 in Mythic ladder. I'm definitely looking forward to both decks and of both piloting their decks as well.
Yes. It's I don't know. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think it'll be the mono black control? So this is the mono black control deck.
Yep. So in the mono black control deck, we see the Tomes and the Solemn Electrum plus the Ugins as we expected. It's a really strong deck. I think it has a lot of removal. So I would see just by seeing this list here, I think this deck is probably favored against a creature-based mechanic. I mean, look at this: 3 Extinction Events, 4 Heartless Acts, 1 Erebos Intervention, even the land Hogger Mauling 4 times, and Eliminate, and Elspeth's Nightmare. This deck tells opponent, you don't play a single creature, I play my Ugin, and then I attack you with Crawling Barons, because this is what I do. Really impressed by this list. I saw Yellow had play a similar list.
To just want to hate on Gruul.
Yeah, this deck just says, you don't play a creature. I do not allow you to play a creature. And you also see some hand hate in the main. You have 2 Duress, you have 2 Remorse, you have Elspeth's Nightmare, which technically also tackles the hand, and you have also 4 Palaka Predations, which is a 3 mana spell that's a land, and also can get a card from your hand with 3 or higher mana cost. Interesting. So you have a lot of removal, and you have a lot of ways to tackle the hand.
Alright, so let's take a look at JDoubleR's deck. This is his 4-color aggro party mechanic deck.
Well, I'm impressed. I mean, so
there's
this
so
is the deck.
much going on here. It all works together.
Yeah, the thing is there are many creature, and this is probably a hard matchup for JDoubleR too. So we're gonna see here the Season Hollowblade, which can be indestructible, which could work out, but doesn't play around the Extinction Event. I like the combination of the creatures. There are many unique creatures here that have some really good abilities. Robber of the Rich, really famous for, let's say, tilting people, getting the right card at the right time. On the play, Robber of the Rich can be so powerful. It's a really interesting card, and I'm pretty sure there are many people with different feelings about that card.
All right, so yeah, it definitely seems like it's going to be a little bit more in Matty's favor with all the removal, but who knows? JDoubleR might be able to pull it off. Yeah,
so if I would have to go for a prediction here, I would say 2-0 Matty, just because this is a favorite matchup. I mean, this is the matchup you want. You want to see many creatures in opponent's deck, and JDouble really doesn't want to see that. He rather prefers to play against Rogue or against Gruul. Matty definitely has a really strong deck here, and yeah, it's interesting to see 2 off-meta decks to face each other.
Just makes it so much more fun.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm definitely glad we have a feature match with decks that we normally don't see. What is your prediction?
I'm gonna go for, I don't know, because I want JDoubleR to win, because I just want the party mechanic to work so much. But that's just so much removal that Matty has. I want JDoubleR to win, but I think it's probably going to be Matty.
Okay, here we go. We're in game, and it's 0-0 actually. So this is the hand of Matty. I mean, I would keep this hand, right? You have lots of removal. You can look at the hand; it looks really good, and you have 3 removals from your hand that targets every single creature of JRR2 here.
All right, so we got that turn 1 duress, getting rid of that scorching dragonfire.
Yep.
Ooh, is that a Robber of the Rich in JRR's hand?
That's the
Ooh.
card. That's the card you want. You want to have the robber there, probably just to make sure you get some card advantage. And it's the way to go because you need to deal
And
with the
there
robber
it is.
instantly. Yep.
Ooh, decent still, stealing that Elspeth's
Yep.
nightmare.
Yep.
But I
Definitely
mean, he's
a
still
good
got
card.
2 in hand.
Yeah, you still got 2 in hand. Didn't want Mati have the triple here. So at this point, you probably want to deal with the robber because it's not nice to give opponent free value. Oh, that's interesting. That's so you have to act with your Heartless Act here at this point, at exactly this point, and that was really smart, really smart here from JRR2. He smelt the removal spell there and made sure that the 1/1 counter doesn't go away for nothing.
All right. Ooh, that's a different one. Okay, so there's the Elspeth's nightmare, getting rid of that cleric that we didn't want to get rid of anyway.
Yeah, just making sure the board doesn't have like too many creatures to activate those party abilities, because in the party ability you need 4 different type of creatures, and now we see another 2 type of party on the battlefield. So Marty is trying to make sure that there is no party going on JRR2's side.
But we gotta have that adventure party. That's the best part. But we're gonna
Yep.
go ahead and get that Crackling Barons out.
Yep.
And the Maze Mind Tome.
Making sure that there is definitely this is called the discard bug, by the way. What we see here right now. Whenever you discard a card, for some reason, the card always comes up. I don't know why this happens. And Marty is like, "Oh no, not again!" And here it happened. That was a really good draw for JRR2 here. And yeah, I mean, now you need to find the board wipe. Looking for it.
It's true. It's true. I'm also really liking the sleeve that Matty has going on.
They kind of fit the deck. They fit the deck.
It
The black
does.
sleeve is really nice. You
I
didn't
appreciate
find
it when people match their sleeves to their deck.
I'm a no sleeve guy for some reason. Chat always tells me to do sleeve, but I always forget it. So here we see Mati
Gotta have
drawing
that
a
style
card.
points.
Yeah, sometimes you have to. Here he went for
Ooh.
the draw just to make sure he finds something. Didn't find anything. Has to go with the Elspeth's Nightmare here. And yeah, you know that's game. 1 damage from this card, 7
All
damage on
right,
board,
and
and
then there's the 7
JDouble got
damage
the
on the
first
board.
one. Wow.
All
That's
right,
redraw.
see, JRR was able to pull it off.
That was a
Yes,
really
the
fast,
party.
impressive game.
You know, sometimes, at least in D&D, it can be the craziest odds that are going on. But if your party can all work together, you can pull it off. You can take down Tiamat, or in this case, Mono Black.
Definitely. So we're gonna go for some ads here, and yeah, and then we go back into game 2 of this matchup.
And we have the sideboarding going on. So let's see, what exactly is Matty pulling into his deck? So it looks like he's pulling in a lot more removal, of course.
I mean, even more removal than before. I don't even know if that's even possible to play even more removal here, but somehow Marty pulls it out. I think you don't want to have too much hand hate here. You just remove whatever comes on the board.
Exactly.
That's the main strategy. So you need to make sure to cut 3 more cards. And for John really JRR2 just really wants to make sure that he keeps his creature in and make sure he pressures Marty as much as he can.
Absolutely. It looks like JRR is going ahead and keeping, so far, he's keeping 4 Robbers of the Rich in his hand. Because he needs to be able to try to steal those removal spells so that they're not used against him.
Yeah, definitely. Just so Marty is like, this is my favorite matchup. This is where I'm favorite, right? I need to be able to win this. So let me add just all the removals to make sure I can 1-for-1 anything and make sure I get this.
Right. And then, I mean, he took out those duresses since they're not really going to be doing a whole lot here. But he's now debating if he has quite the right removal in, and it looks like he's got it figured out.
Yeah, so I think he's happy with this. I would say 80% of his cards are removals. Um, Here he has 3 removals on his hand, and some of the removals are also lands, which is even
And
better.
he
But
won.
on
Yep.
John's side, on JDouble's
All
side, we
right.
see the robber again.
Yep. Oh, it's always so good to see that in the opening hand. And he's got 3 lands, so he should be pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely nice. Also, first cannot kill robber on instant speed since it's a sorcery. So getting an attack in here with robber is definitely nice.
Right. The question is, if he plays the robber here, does
Mhm.
he have less cards
Yeah,
than the
so
opponent?
yeah, he also considers of the removal spell, so he probably doesn't go the robber. Because there's 2 black open, and there are so many cards that actually remove a card. Yeah,
And he
interesting.
had 2 of that card that he just played. And so, I mean, he's okay potentially losing that one since he has a backup one, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we see the consideration of using an instant spell or a main turn spell. It's a hard spot. You know there could be a robber coming next turn as well, and I'm pretty sure he's considering this interaction right now. You
Mm-hmm.
want to try to get to Ugin really fast here, and just don't take too much damage until there.
Exactly. I also like that they both have pets on the board.
Yeah.
That Matty has the fierce-looking elemental that kind of goes with, the theme of his deck again. I don't think that was on purpose, but I like it anyway. And then
Definitely.
JDoubleR, I feel like a party mechanic would definitely have an owl. Like,
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just makes sense to me.
I'm more of a fox type. I like the fox a lot,
You
even
like
though
the
it's a bit
fox?
basic, but I like the fox. Fox is cool.
I like the dog.
The dog is cool as well, yeah. Definitely. So Marty decided to keep up 3 mana for the instant removal spell here. And having
that
the
hog
open
remoling.
mana obviously knows, JDouble knows here that there could be a removal spell. So wants to double spell here, bringing as much creatures as you can to push the damage.
And to try to get less cards in his hand so that when he actually tries to attack with that robber, that I can't steal anything.
Exactly.
But Matty doesn't want to even give him a chance.
Nope. Doesn't like the robber here. Has to make sure it goes away. Here we just see Solemn Simulacrum just to get 1 more extra land. Having a blocker that draws you also a card is really nice. And yeah, so we see on JDoubleR side there is no 4th land here, but you still have plenty of lands to play here, which is really, really nice.
Oh yes, yeah. He has several different cards that he could play. He could play a couple of them. He could play a single one. He's definitely got options.
Yeah.
And Matty doesn't, until he can get that Ugin out, he doesn't really have a good way of taking care of all of them at once.
Yep. Oh, that's a really interesting draw. So here, if you play Solemn Simulacrum, you go to 6, you place your land, you go to 7, and you have the 8 land for next turn. Which
you can
means
have that Ugin next turn.
Exactly, you can have that Ugin next turn. And he's definitely thinking about this right now. Even if you do so, you can still play the first to deal with one of the creatures, but you don't have to, right? You don't have to because you most likely gonna wipe the board. And I could see him play the Solemn here first. Yep. Getting the
And
land
that
out.
wouldn't even be a very expensive loss for Ugin, right? That's
No,
maybe
not
just
at all.
-3.
Yeah, it's a bit higher because Sorcery costs more and costs 1 less for each part you have. I think the mana cost for Sorcery is 5, so you actually have to go -5, yeah.
Ooh.
This is going to be interesting. So he didn't decide to use the first there and hopes that JDoubleR will play more creatures to get more value of that Ugin next turn. But I'm pretty sure he knows that there could be a Ugin next turn, the way this looks. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see the play here. There are multiple lines, but
what's he gonna play?
Yeah, will he play something, right? Will he play something? Do you want to commit on a board that's most likely to get wiped? It's hard. It's really hard. This is exactly the spot where Mati wants to be. Have the removal, have the blocker, and then just be able to use the Ugin to wipe the board. And honestly, I would maybe play 1 creature, and I think that is what JW will do here. It's like, okay, so I don't know if he has it, right? Does Monty have the card? I'm gonna play this creature now. and then probably just gonna, yeah, exactly. So here we want to get as much damage in as possible while not losing as many cards as possible.
Exactly.
Also, really important to know here, we have a flyer. I just wanted to mention that now we got a flying creature
So
that cannot be
good.
blocked, right? You can still block the Tasri here, but then Marty gets to draw a card. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. Okay, draws a card here. Marty is really
And
happy
ooh,
with this situation.
I mean, yeah, he
But
plays that. He plays Ugin. He
there's one important
takes
thing to
control of the
say.
board.
-5
And
doesn't get rid of Solem, right? So the
right.
priest, which has flash, could have attacked the Ugin for 2, while Ugin has 2 loyalty left. Oh wow, and he doesn't attack. So that's what I meant. But if he would have
Oh,
attacked there, he would have lost the Ugin, right? That is impressive. That is an impressive read from Mati here.
that was a
Not
good
attacking.
line that they did right there.
Yeah, really impressive read. He obviously knows that there's priests in the deck, and he was sure, yeah, I don't want to run into priests. There were 2 mana open, and he saw the line JDoubleR wanted to take and made sure it
Oh.
didn't happen.
Oh, he is excited about that extinction event. And he's
Yeah,
got another Solemn Simulacrum. That sad robot is making him very happy.
yeah. At this point, opponent doesn't really have a threat anymore to deal with Ugin.
Right.
Let's take a look at his hand. Sees there is one card he can take advantage of with this card. Probably gonna discard. Also, you have a Solem for blocking. You have Ugin on 4 loyalty next turn, which is really hard to deal with. So, but at least you know there's a priest now, right? So there is a priest that could attack. You want to play the creature because you don't have instant removal on your hand. And this is the moment where JDouble knows, okay, on the draw, I was a bit too slow. I did my best, and let's go to game 3.
But I mean, when when you have an opponent that has nothing but removal for creatures and your deck is almost nothing but creatures, it's just an uphill battle to begin with. I'm glad that JDoubleR was able to get him at least on game 1.
Yeah, I have to say I'm impressed actually with JDoubleR's deck here. It put up a fight. Marty managed to go to the Ugin and had the removal spells, but still, you got game 1, and you have to know that now JDoubleR is on the play again, which is really
Exactly.
important. Yeah.
So he can hopefully get a good aggressive hand and take control of the board state very quickly and hopefully keep those creatures on the board.
Yeah, definitely. So how will you board here? I think it just, I mean, I don't see any changes to have to be made here. I mean, you literally
Right.
just want to make sure you have all the removal. You are able to deal with all the creatures, and this is what we see here. It's just thinking maybe I should change something, but I think he will keep running it like this.
Seems that way. And I wasn't able to quite see what JRR was able to side in there. But he probably just maybe went a little bit more aggro.
Yeah, so Marty just stayed the same, and this is a really interesting hand. We're gonna see 2 lands.
Oh wow.
4 Heartless Acts. So the thing with Heartless Acts here, we know that JDouble plays cards that allow him to put counter on his creature,
Right.
which is really interesting. It's not the removal spell you usually want to see, but you can still react on most of the counters, so it's totally fine.
Exactly. And he's got that extinction event.
Yep. We saw Mulligan from JRR, but yeah, you have to aggressive Mulligan in those type of decks, just to make sure you really.
He doesn't have the fastest hand here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the fastest hand, and Marty just backing here with 3 Heartless Acts on hand is just like, okay, I can hold this for a while, and if I can't, I just use the extinction event. Only creature removal on hand against the creature party deck. That feels kind of rough here.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe JRR will get those really good top decks to help him pull ahead, and maybe Matty will be flooded. That's what always happens to me.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think he doesn't mind to be flooded. He wants to get the mana to get to Ugin. He wants to draw the Barons, because he doesn't need anything anymore. He just needs the lands, right? Like, I want the lands. I have only removal spells on hand. Give me the lands. Give me the Solems. I need that.
It looks like JDoubleR was debating whether or not to play that Rada right then or not. Looks like he just passed the turn, so he's probably going to want to flash in that priest, right?
Exactly. He wants to flash in the priest here. Elspeth's Nightmare here is really strong because on the second application, on the second saga, you actually get to peek in the hand and get to get rid of one card of your choice.
And there's that flashed in priest. So an easy 2 damage to the face.
So now you have to make a decision, right? Which card do you want to play so you don't lose that card? We saw Rada here to make sure you get rid of the lands on top, which I think was the correct choice, and we saw already getting advantage of the Rada there. And here
there was nothing that they can steal.
Exactly, because there's no sorcery instant or a non-creature card, exactly. So there was no problem for him to actually just make the decision. I was wrong there, sorry guys. Here we see the first Heartless Act while still having 2 Heartless Act up.
If there's something they'd rather kill rather than that priest.
Yeah. So here you can play a card to even lower the cost on Tasri again, to make sure you double spell. But then again, you are in danger to run into a board wipe.
And it seems like JRR knows, based on those pauses, that Matty has removal, instant removal.
Exactly. You can read the pauses in Arena, and he goes for the board, which is really nice because now he has 2 even cards and 1 odd card. But obviously, he gets rid of the odd card to set up for an insane extinction event here.
Oh, painful extinction event.
Yeah. Also, the
Soul Blade can't remain indestructible versus it, right?
Nope. The exile effect is huge here, and this is a hard spot, right? You can ramp, you can have an extra turn by blocking. You're still on 15 life here, and this is the route he goes.
So he goes with the ramping. He's trying to get that land out, and when his robot eventually dies, he's hoping that he'll maybe get that Ugin.
Yeah, he feels really comfortable with this situation here. This is a really cool ability here. If you actually kick it, you can refill your hand, which is amazing here, and we're gonna see some refill. We don't see the cards yet. So he's gonna choose. Oh, there are a lot of cards. He chooses the Rada, so that is fine. Rada is definitely a good card here, just to make sure to get the top lands away, and you're just gonna attack him. So I probably see a block here. Yeah.
Yep, block because he wants that card draw.
Exactly, because if the card gets exiled, there is no card draw. Wow.
And the Crackling Barrens, which is his ultimate eventual creature.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who played Arena definitely got attacked by a 2020 land recently in the last week, and it feels not too good. It doesn't feel too good.
No.
Yeah.
It's quite painful.
It is for sure, and still has a spot removal and the board wipe. So right now you just use the mana efficiently to pump your Barons, which costs 4 mana, to give it 2 counters. It's not helping you here, since Elspeth's Nightmare only hits creature with 2 or less power, and we see F3 too. But here again, you just let your mana open. You can pump your Barons to a 4/4 here, or just play a removal spell or draw a card. There are many options right now.
Absolutely. So JRR goes with that Rada, hopefully getting a land off the top, which they do.
Nice. Yeah, Rada definitely working out for JRR here. Already twice found the land off the top. Make sure you don't draw too many lands, which is always important here. Still scared of a certain board wipe, I assume. So making sure you have to play the creature here, though. But you need to attack here, right? At this point, you have 1 card left. You need to make sure you finish this game.
Absolutely. Especially knowing that your opponent could get Ugin at any point and take out everything that you have.
Exactly, yeah. So, will he pump, will he draw, or will he remove something? First pump.
He's going with the Barons.
Yeah, double pump here, have a 4/4 creature in a land, and find another spot removal.
Whew, and they're going to go ahead and play the Extinction event.
Yep. goes for odd here to make sure to get rid of the both big creatures here. There's still one creature left, but you still have two removal. Not too scared yet, but maybe just going for the removal here to be sure there's no shenanigans. Yep, that's what we're gonna see. It's gonna be tough. That Barons here is this land is absolutely. I love it.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
And Matty still has a hand of nothing but removal.
Yeah, he still has an instant removal, which is really nice against the Charger. The Charger comes in and goes back on hand, which is nice for sorcery speed removal. But the Charger here. So the thing is, you can kick it actually and give him some counters, I think. And this is what you're gonna do here. Oh, he's not doing the kicker.
Oh.
Yeah. So Marty knows now if this attacks, he goes back on the hand, and he cannot deal with it. So definitely go for the removal here.
He's debating. He's really thinking about it. Ooh. He's gonna let it pass.
It just goes back.
Interesting.
Here we go. Jumps back on the hand. And we see another land. Okay. He's not too scared of the Charger here, as it seems like. Just wants to make sure the land goes over the Charger at one point, which is totally possible. And yeah, I mean, there's already a 4/4 land out. There's a lot of lands out. Thinking of playing the Elswith Nightmare just to make sure you can maybe draw a card down the line and don't take too much damage. Interesting. The Charge is a really nice tech here, I have to say. This is a classic JDoubleR2 deck, bro. We see cards we don't see usually.
Is.
And you cannot be prepared for it, right? You test your decks usually against the meta, and then you see this.
I mean, Matty also has the option to try to draw more cards with that castle if he wants to.
It's 3 damage.
So Matty's really not in a bad place at all.
Not in a bad place. I still think Marty is favorite here. Goes in with some damage here, does the calculation, brings JDouble on 12. So this means if there's no blocking creature, Muddy has a chance to win next turn with 12 damage on the land. But now it is tapped out. No spot removal for Muddy here. And we know what the Robber of the Rich can do. We all know what this card can do.
It can definitely steal something good.
Yep.
Hopefully, but it looks like he's thinking of not playing the Charger and just seeing what the Robber can steal and see if it's worth it.
Yeah, it was not a playable card per se here. So not too happy about that specific draw. You definitely would like to see something you could play. Here we see it with a counter out, and then we see an eliminate. Wow, that eliminate is huge here.
That was a really, really good draw for Matty.
Yeah, so the Robber is definitely a bit unlucky there, but this eliminate is huge. So we're gonna see a 10/10 creature
10
here
damage.
And offers the trade here. And so if you offer the trade here, you know I can keep my eliminate. I can keep it here. Gonna get rid of that. Gonna get rid of the Robber. Still have 2 spot removals left. and need 1 attack more.
And JDoubleR is top decking at this point.
Yeah,
was able to get that Zagreus.
Yeah, this is GG now. Dugan in the end, but yeah, you just remove the card and attack with Land for Lethal. This is a really good series, though. I really enjoyed it.
It was really interesting.
Yep.
But those Crackling Barons, like, who'd have thought that, you know, you don't really need any creatures in your deck except, you know, a land card.
Yeah, that's a classic Nassif move here, having 1 win corner, but we still have the Ugin, though. But yeah, a really cool game. I really enjoyed it. And 2-1 for Matti here.
All right. Good games all around. I mean, yeah, we kind of figured that Matti would win there just because when you have a deck that is, you know, it's nothing but removal playing a creature deck, there's not a whole lot of hope for the creature deck. But I am so proud and happy that JDoubleR was at least to get 1 win in.
Yeah, JDoubleR, first game impressive. Just went in with the strength of the deck. go in, attack, attack, attack. Mati drew too many Elspeth Nightmare, couldn't deal with all the creatures at the same time. So I think, yeah, really good series. A nice play of both players. And yeah, Mono Black Control got the win here with the spicy Mono Black list against the spicy 4-color aggro list.
Definitely love to see JDoubleR's list in action against like a Gruul list, just to kind of see how it can take that on. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think he designed the deck first to have a good matchup against Gruul and Rogues. I think the Rogues matchup is really interesting because you actually board in many, you actually play out many creatures, and some Rogue decks go right now more on the counter side instead of the removal side. But yeah, I don't know. It's a take on the deck that JDoubleR 100% thought about it against the main decks. Against the meta decks. I hope we see it again. Really interesting list, and yeah, I also want to see the Mono Black list again, though. That's also really.
How do you think Maddie's deck would do against one of the Esper Doom decks?
That's probably the harder matchup. I think the matchup against a Gruul is what you're looking for here, or even against Rogues to just stall the game and make sure the Barons win and dodge the eliminates. Against the Esper Doom matchup, I can see it's a bit harder, but then again, we all know Ugin is an amazing card against Esper Doom. You just say no to opponent's board. It exiles enchantments, creatures, yeah, planeswalkers, except the artifacts, but there are not too many artifacts played right now in the Doom lists, so you basically get rid of the entire board, and if they don't have Counterspell in the game 1, I can see Mono Black getting the first game in.